If anyone touches the fire, it's no longer warm. It's been cold for a while.
Ooh, there was a fire.
There was a fire, Hellemei.
Okay, so what
Yeah, I
is it?
think it was here.
Trials of Ashes,
Tail.
Tales of Ashes.
Tails, yeah.
Oh,
That's
there we
that's
go.
a cool spell. That's a cool
It is.
ritual.
So what does Hellemei do?
So it says you could read the ashes of a burnt object, or thereby discern the object was once what it was, or whatever. The mystic experiences all impressions from the fire, sees whose was there, and hears what was said. So, and then it just says campfire has much to tell.
So what happens, Hellemei? What do you do?
I think she goes, "Ooh, a fire," or campfire, and then she like sits down, places her hands right into the ash, right,
Mm-hmm.
and then starts chanting. Maybe her eyes roll into the back of her head as she, relives the fire's knowledge. She just sits down in front of the fire or the ash of the campfire, thrusts her hands into it. She says a few things, and then her eyes roll back in her head as she does this ritual.
Hellemei, your eyes roll back and you feel warm, which is the fire inside you. The fire itself, this campfire, and you are there when it's born. Just a flint. You're that spark off the iron and off the rock, and you see yourself flare up and land on the tinder and then come to life. And your vision at first is just full of things that you don't understand, Hellemei, because you are that fire. You're surrounded by people. You hear language for the first time, and from a fire's perspective, it sounds different. It's not crackling and not loud and not popping. And eventually you kind of understand it. You see this emaciated group of old people and young people around you trying to get warm, and you flare as much as you can because you want to give off your heat. And then you see this naked man before you with his hands and feet tied behind him, and he's on his side facing you, and sitting on him, or with her taloned feet on him, or this female with wings. You're not really sure what that means, but you hear them talk back and forth, and you understand them because you've been alive and alight for quite some time. You hear their names: Learmay, Master Emilio, Lena, Bo, Laris. You understand them as fire and as Hellemei because you've met these people. You see the magpie peck out one of Degoi's eyes, and then you see them leave. And then there's just commotion. People moving, yelling, and shouts, and snow falling above you. And eventually, quiet for a while. It's just you and this naked man and this woman with black wings and shallow cheekbones and big brown eyes. And you're starting to diminish. You're not being fed. Your flame starts to gutter. There's just a little bit left of you, and you try as you might to form out, and there's just a little bit of you left. You're just gray coals that flare now and then, and your vision comes in little spots of blackness and light, and you see the naked man before you and the winged figure, and then you're in darkness again, and you flare again as the wind maybe hits the coals and lights you up, and you try to struggle back to being fire again before your last of your light goes out. And you see a magpie land again, start to sing songs that have stolen from other birds. And you can see, as you're flaring in the coals, the anger on this woman's face. And she pulls a long black knife from the ground next to her as you're just starting to gutter out. And she reaches down to the man that you see, and you just see her start from the top of his head right here and just peel it back. And then you go out. One last gutter. There's nothing around you, really, Hellemei, but you're looking out at these tall trees in the distance that are 90 feet tall or 30 meters high, And in that last little gutter of coal that you have left, you see him hanging there in the sky, spread out, hands down, no skin but that on his face. And he's been tied up somehow 90 feet in the air. And then you, as the fire, fade existence and you are done. Your eyes kind of flitter a little bit and flutter and roll back, and you open your eyes and you're sitting there while everyone's around you and they haven't seen it yet. And your chin tips up, and there you see him, Degoi, 90 feet in the air, strung out by his feet, all his skin taken out but his face. What does Hellemei do?
I think Hellemei cries for the fire that's been extinguished. Not Degoi, not Degoi.
She doesn't know Degoi.
Yeah, but the fire that was extinguished and how useful it was, and then she describes the creature and Degoi and the group, and then at long last at the end, she points to Degoi in the trees